Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? I brought a blanket out with me because it's so cold out here. Well, it's not so cold, but it's rainy and wet and not pretty, and I have on shorts and a hoodie, and then I have on my fuzzy Birkenstock sandals, and so I was like, I can either go upstairs and change into some longer pants to vlog, or I can just bring out a blanket. So I was like, I'm just gonna bring out this blanket with me. So this is actually like one of my favorite blankets. I've had this for years and years and years. I think I got it like at Pier 1 or someplace like that years ago. But anyway, so brought this blanket out here, and I just made a cup of coffee. For all of those of you out there that said the Cinnabon coffee was delicious, cheers, you were 100% correct. It's probably my new favorite coffee of all the coffees that I've bought. I've been like going back and forth and like trying all the coffees. I haven't tried the strawberry and cream yet, and I haven't tried the cinnamon honey. I'll try that next. But I've been going back and forth between the banana cream, I love that, by the Kauai Coffee, and the banana nut bread by Coffee Beanery. I love that one as well. But the Cinnabon, the original cinnamon roll coffee, oh my god, it is so delicious. And I'm really into like medium to dark roast right now. You know, like in the summer I like a lighter roast, like a blonde roast. But right now I am into like a medium to a dark, like a really like a dark roast, you know? So I made this coffee, and this is what I drank last night. Well, I went back and forth, but I had like 2 cups of this last night while I was watching Fear the Walking Dead. I watched so many episodes last night. I think I have 4 or 5 episodes left of the final season. And then when I finish that, I'm gonna go back and start, on season 7 of The Walking Dead, and then finish that. And then I'm gonna watch the spin-off shows. That's my plan. And then I'm gonna be all caught up on the Walking Dead universe. Hey, how are you? And his dog is so cute. I've never seen that guy in this neighborhood before. But he had a really cute dog. He looked like Tucker, but twice as big. Alex just got home a little while ago, and I was like, I'm so tired today. I'm so tired, and the weather is just bringing me down. I feel like it has rained literally for 24 hours straight. Last night it rained so hard, and I was out here vlogging yesterday, and it was raining, and it's raining again today, and it's been raining hard, and then kind of like right now it's not raining super hard, but it's still raining. And so Alex came home and I said, I'm so tired. Like I kept on waking up last night. I had the weirdest dreams last night. And I kept on waking up, and Alex said, he goes, I didn't sleep very well at all either. He said I finally fell asleep around 3 o'clock in the morning, which is weird because he went upstairs about 11 o'clock. He went to bed about 11 o'clock last night, and so he was like, I didn't fall asleep till like 3. I don't remember that because I took a little bit of a nap. So last night we watched Watch What Happens Live. We kind of watched them like in backwards order. We watched Watch What Happens Live with Sheena Shea and her husband Brock, and then we watched Vanderpump Rules, and then we watched Vanderpump Villas. So I still have The Valley to watch. And then last night Survivor and Amazing Race were on, so I'm going to watch those tonight. We also have American Horror Story Delicate to watch, but we might watch that this weekend. I'm so not into that. It was so bad. So it was like, it went on hiatus. They had like 6 episodes, and they came out with like the last 6 episodes. I used to love American Horror Story. It is so bad. This season is the worst. If it wasn't American Horror Story, if it was just something else, which I know that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to people, but I'm like so dedicated to the American Horror Stories that I want to make sure that I've watched all of them. If it wasn't American Horror Story, I would stop watching it. It's really, really bad. Well, first of all, I'm not super interested in the story. It's very similar to Rosemary's Baby. Apparently, it's called Delicate. And apparently it was based on this book. Not Rosemary's Baby, another book that came out several years ago. But it's about this movie star, and she's pregnant, and it's kind of like her husband, you don't know, like somebody basically sold this baby to like these devil worshippers or something. I mean, you don't even really know what's going on, but every episode is so slow. And I thought when it came back, like, it would get better and it would pump up, but I feel like this last week's episode was a regurgitation of everything I mean, it's so boring. It's so bad. But I'll watch it till the end because I want to find out what's going to happen. But Emma Roberts is in it, and that actress from Pose that I really, really like that played Blanca, and she's also in Loot. I love her. And who else is in it? Kim Kardashian's in it. Kim Kardashian, a lot of people are like, oh, she's horrible. She just plays herself. I mean, a lot of actresses just kind of play themselves, you know. But I actually think Kim Kardashian's pretty good in it. She's probably one of the only interesting characters. Emma Roberts is good in it. She just is... the story is so bad. The story is so boring. So yeah. So we've got that to watch. So I've got Amazing Race, Survivor, Delicate, well, American Horror Story, Delicate, and then what else do we have to watch? Tomorrow, RuPaul's Drag Race. I feel like I have one other thing to watch. And then I'm finishing Fear of the Walking Dead. I'll probably finish it tonight. My goal is to finish Fear of the Walking Dead tonight, to watch the last 4 or 5 episodes, how many episodes I have left. I feel like I'm far away from you guys. I just switched the knob on the camera back because when I tried to film earlier upstairs in the bedroom, it was so dark that I couldn't film on it. So I don't know what's going on with the lighting. Maybe it's just where I'm filming right now or something like that. So yeah. But anyway, so we did that last night, and then I ordered Cheesecake Factory, but I talked about all that on my weight loss video today, which was really not fun to make. But I kind of have a plan in place. So yeah, and then after we watched those shows, I laid down. Alex was watching, he started watching some new reality show. He watched the first episode of it, and then he came up after that, and that's when he went to bed. Because when I woke up, he was looking at TikToks or something. I didn't sleep that long. It's some new reality show about rich people in Grand Cayman. He was like, do you want to watch a trailer with me? And I was like, no, I'm just going to go upstairs. I was like, I do not need another show to get into right now. And so he watched the first episode, and I woke up when he came up, and I was like, was it good? And he was like, yeah, it was pretty good. I don't even know what it's on, but anyway, it looks like a reality show or something. I might watch it. We'll see. So, because, of course, like I said, I don't need another TV show, but, you know. Okay, I have a question for you guys. I don't know why this is bothering me. I feel like it was an episode of Poker Face. Does anybody know? I'm going to tell you guys, like, part of a show. It's one episode of a longer show. And if anybody knows what show I'm talking about. Okay, so it's about this rich guy, and he's, like, on house arrest. Like, he can't leave his house. And he lives in, like, this mansion. And he figures out a way to, like, trick the house arrest. And so he leaves one night, and something happens. I can't remember what happens, but he ends up going to, like, his brother's house or his friend's house, who, like, runs this, like, motel in the woods, and it's, like, snowy. And then they end up, like, killing somebody, but he has to, like, be back in time so that he isn't in trouble with, like, his house arrest officer. And the whole thing takes place in the snow. I feel like it was an episode of Poker Face. Was that the show with Natasha Leone? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? And it's like the hotel is like a lodge. And they're in there and they're fighting over, like, back in the day when they were, like, friends in, like, high school or college or something. And then somebody comes in and I almost am positive it's Poker Face. I don't know why, but I keep on, like, having that scene in my head because something I was watching reminds me of it. So, yeah, and, so then I got up and what did I watch? I watched something before I watched all that. I don't remember. I mean, it rained so hard. When I got up to come downstairs last night to watch my shows, I went into the bathroom first and was, like, brushing my teeth and stuff. And I told Alex, I mean, you could hear it on the skylight in the bathroom. I was like, it is pouring down rain outside. And he was like, I know, I just took Boo out. It was, like, pouring down rain. And all night long it poured down rain. I wanted to open the window in the living room, but I was afraid the rain would come in. So I was like, I'm not going to open the window. And it was cooler last night, too. It's a lot cooler today than it's been the last couple days. Alex just informed me, he was like, because we were talking about like our plans for this weekend, and he was telling me about, he actually has to work a little bit tomorrow, and then he said he might like go out tomorrow night because there's like some DJ or something that he wants to see, and he was like, do you want to come with me? And I was like, I don't know, maybe we'll see. I'm not really in the mood to go to like a club, and he's going with a couple of his girlfriends, so I might just watch my shows and let him go do that tomorrow night. And then I was like, and then on Saturday afternoon he has something, but not Saturday night. And so we were talking about this weekend, and I was like, well, what else do you have planned this weekend? He's like, well, I'm going to move these palm trees to the back porch. And I was like, no, not yet. And he was like, what do you mean not yet? And I was like, maybe like another 2 or 3 weeks. And he was like, no, I think it's time to move them now. And I'm like, it's cold out. So like, I don't, like, people are not putting their plants out like she is across the street, but most people aren't. And I'm like, I did not spend 6 months of having those palm trees in our bathtub. I will not do that again next year. Fernalicious, she can stay in the bathtub all next winter, but I'm not doing those two palm trees. I don't honestly think that they're plants that you're supposed to keep all year round, first of all. But like, they grow and then they die, and they grow and they die. I think that's just kind of how these palm trees are. But I don't want them out on the back patio until I know that they're going to survive and the weather's warm consistently. So he was like, okay, we can leave them up here for a little bit longer, because I just watered them like 3 days in a row. Because like, I water them and then they get dry really quick, which they haven't been doing that. Like, they've been retaining water, but they're getting dry really quick because I think it's like spring now and whatever, you know? And so every time I water them, I think it's the palm trees. I don't think it's Fernalicious. I think it's the palm trees. Every time I water the palm trees, it always smells at the bath. Like, the bathroom smells very earthy. And Alex is way over it. So we'll do Fernalicious next year, but I actually think I'm going to try to find like a hook to hang her on next year over the bathtub is what I'm going to do. Instead of just having her, I have like a table on this plastic that, I mean, she's fine, but she's done well. I'm kind of excited to see what she looks like when I hang her. I'm going to have to give her a little bit of a haircut, because she was like asymmetrical hairdo last year, you know, and then like, she's grown so much, but like grown out of the middle, and so I don't know how she's gonna look, so I'm gonna have to give her a little bit of a haircut when I bring her out here. Maybe I'll make a video cutting Fernalicious's hair. But I'm excited to bring her out here. She's like really, really vibrantly green right now, like really, really green. I mean, like, Fern should be green, but she's like bright green, like Kelly green, you know. So he's like, okay, we can leave him up here for a couple more weeks. I was like, yeah, I mean, we had him up here for 6 months. I'm not going to have them die because we have like a frost warning. Because, I mean, that happens in Indianapolis, you know? So then I lit all my candles last night. Well, actually, I started, so in the kitchen, I don't know if you guys have seen this like behind my videos, but like on the little island that we have in the kitchen, I have this tray. It's like this round tray, and in the middle of it I have this big candle. I never light that candle. It's like 4 wicks, and I got it at Target years ago, and I never light it. I lit it last night for like the first time. I mean, literally the first time in probably years I lit it, and it smells like pine and clove. It smells really good, actually. But around it, we always have like these crystals people have given me and sent me, and so I have all these crystals, and then we have like this tree that's made out of crystals. I think somebody sent it to me years ago, and I love it. And then we have little candles. We usually have like 4 to 6 little candles around there. Well, I've been lighting them, and so I haven't been replacing them. So it was just that big candle in the middle and all the crystals, and I went through the last candle the other night, which was one of these candles, this Make Life exclusive King's Candle Collection Bonfire. Remember I said it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't smell like bonfire, it smells like cologne. Well, out here, like, I burned it one day. I was going to bring a lighter out here because I put the lighter inside because I was getting so cold I didn't want it to, like, die. But I came out here after I've been burning it, and the whole front porch smelled like cologne. It smelled really good. Well, inside, I don't know if it's a different one that I had, but it smelled so good. I really liked it. I didn't like it just to smell it, but I liked it when it was, like, burning. It smelled really good. Well, I went through that, and it's like a wood wick candle. I don't know if you can see that. But I went through that. So last night, I went into the garage, and because I haven't put those Goose Creek candles inside yet, I haven't like rearranged my candles and stuff. So I went and I got a small candle, and it's called Autumn Leaves. And so I was burning autumn leaves, and then the pine one, and then I have another like sugar cookie one that I got from, they're all Goose Creek ones except for the big one in the middle. So I was burning those last night, making coffee and watching Fear of the Walking Dead, and I was so cozy last night. I didn't realize Alex was up till 3 o'clock in the morning because I didn't go upstairs and check or anything like that. Boo Radley came down around some time, and I took him out, and I gave him treats, and he went back upstairs, so. He has been so crazy. I took him out earlier today. The guy across the street is still doing construction on the kitchen. He said he's almost done with it. He's so nice. He's always really talkative to me when I'm outside because he's like out there smoking cigarettes and when I'm walking Boo and stuff like that. And I said, and he's like, he is so excited to be outside. Boo Riley was running all over the yard and stuff. And I go, yeah, I go, you'd never believe he was 14 and a half because he's 14 and a half. And my neighbors next door, they have their grandkids for the day. And so we're this like tree, it's like this, not a valley, but it's just like this 10 feet across probably where it goes down. There's like this long tree. It's been raining so much it's all filled with water, and apparently there were ducks and turtles in there, and so they were looking for the ducks and turtles with their grandpop. And so anyway, they were like, Peter, they're like, did you see, and they call me Mr. Peter. They're like, Mr. Peter, did you see that there were ducks and turtles in there? I was like, no, I didn't see it. He was, my neighbor was getting such a kick out of it. They were like excited. And then Boo walked over there, and then Boo was like, what's going on? What's going on? And they were excited to see Boo and stuff like that. So, yeah. And then today, I was like, okay, I'm going to film a couple videos today. So, I didn't want to do my weight loss journey. Go watch the weight loss journey if you want to hear about it. It's been miserable. I've done absolutely nothing in the last week. And almost to the point where I was like, I'm just going to give it up. And then I had like a really deep conversation with myself the other night, talked to my therapist today, talked to my sponsor, talked to some other people, and I was like, I've got to get focused. And so, did a video over on my Peter Does Stuff channel about my weight loss journey. Before that, I did a drama video that I had outlined last night. I had one video I was going to do, and then people kept on sending me this stuff, and then I saw it online, and so I turned around and I made that video today. So I don't know if I'll make the other video tomorrow. I keep on saying that, like, take a day off and not film anything. I've said that for so long. I have such a hard time doing that, right? I feel like if I could just sit down. Well, one of the things that's hard is that if I film any other video, I feel like I have to vlog. I'm like, I have to vlog. Like, that's the one thing I do every day, right? So I'm either gonna like take the whole day off and not film anything, or, you know what I mean? Is it not here yet? No. It's cold. She's looking for the mail. It would be a good chili dinner night tonight. So, but I'm eating healthy tonight. Well, I have some meals in my freezer that are kind of like chili-ish. They're like beans and rice that I got from Trader Joe's. So, that might be dinner tonight. So yeah, so I did that. Then I did that drama video, and then Alex texted me, and he was like, I'm on my way home. Because I had therapy today from 2 to 3. And so when I got done with that, I was like getting Boo settled, I was like making the bed and all that kind of stuff. Then I made the videos, and Alex said he was on his way home. So that's why I was asking him what he was doing this weekend, because I was like, how many videos do I want to film today? I didn't realize, well, he's hoping to be done with work tomorrow by like 10 or 11 in the morning, so he'll be home in the afternoon, unless he runs around and does stuff. He said he might go have lunch with somebody tomorrow. Oh no, he said that on Saturday. He's going to this thing on Saturday, and then he might go to lunch after that on Saturday, and then he might go out tomorrow night, not lunch tomorrow night. So, because I was trying to figure out, like, because I told him, I said, if it's raining this weekend and cold outside, like, I'm going to have to film videos inside. He was like, that's totally fine. I'll just be upstairs watching it. He's got the Apple TV. He's, like, obsessed with it now. Like, with the, you can listen to, like, your AirPods. I don't know. Anyway, he's so obsessed with that Apple TV thing. So, because you can do it all from your phone or whatever, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, so he's like, I'll just be upstairs watching TV. So he's like, you can film if you need to film downstairs. I was like, okay. I mean, he's always really, like, cool about that. I don't hardly ever film inside anymore unless I film in the bedroom when he's not here, you know? So, and he can sit downstairs now with his AirPods on and watch TV in the living room if I want to film upstairs. So we could do that, too. But that'll only be one day. I actually was like, well, maybe I'll take this weekend off other than vlogging and not film a bunch this weekend. And then on Monday, I think on Monday I have a hair appointment, which I need because this is getting long. My eyebrows are long. I used to trim my eyebrows myself until I shaved half of one off, and I was like, I'm never touching them again. So yeah, so tonight I'm excited. I wanted to walk tonight. Well, I still might if it slows down raining. I mean, it's like raining out. I mean, it's not raining hard, but it's raining enough that like I would walk for 5 minutes and be soaking wet, even if I wore a jacket. But I'm gonna do something tonight, some kind of walking. I just remembered something I wanted to say in my video. Well, it wasn't really. You guys see the steam rising from the coffee? Somebody said, so I mentioned, I was talking about Beyonce in some video that I did, and I mentioned this when Destiny's Child was on Oprah, and they had these treadmills in the ground, and so it made it look like they were walking in place. And somebody commented on my video, and they said, I'm still looking for this Oprah performance of Destiny's Child, because it was fantastic. They like wind blowing and whatever. And they're like, I can't find it anywhere. I literally Googled last night, or I searched on YouTube, Destiny's Child Oprah, and it was the first video that came up. It was 2004. And at the very end, they stepped to the front of stage. You can see the treadmills in the ground. I literally, I knew I was right. Because when they put that, I was like, well, maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I so remember there being, I was like, because I can remember when I was watching it, I was like, there are treadmills built into the stage where they are walking. It's literally just the stage where they're sitting on, right? And so as they're walking, it makes it look like they're walking in place. It's so cool. And I was like, did I remember that correctly? And so you can see it. You can see it under their feet, like when it pans to it. So I found that video last night, then I got like real obsessed with like watching all these performances of Destiny's Child. That's how I fall down the rabbit hole. That's what I was watching before I was watching Fear the Walking Dead. Oh, by the way, I am so in to the whole zombie thing again. And last night I was like, I want to start listening to some zombie audiobooks. For those of you that haven't watched for a long time, or like haven't watched from the beginning, I used to be into this author. I still love her books. Her books are some of the best books I've ever read in my entire life. Not just best zombie books, but best books. Rhiannon Frater, As the World Dies. If you like zombie books, Rhiannon, like the song, Frater, F-R-A-T-E-R. And apparently she wrote it as one big book, and then she split it up into 3 other books, and it was called As the World Dies. Because remember recently I just found out that there was like a 4th one that came out and I wasn't aware of it, because Siege is the last one. And it's about these people in Texas that, like, what happens when the zombie apocalypse happens, and like all these people get separated, and these 2 women become really good friends. I remember the one woman's name is Jenny. I don't remember the other woman's name, but anyway, they become really, really good friends. And so they go all over and they're trying to stay safe. It's very much like The Walking Dead, like building cities and whatever. I mean, to be honest with you, the part of the zombie stories that I really like is like after the apocalypse and like people like trying to like survive and build new towns. That's what I really like. I think it probably goes back to like when I was a little kid, like building forts. Like we would all build forts and stuff in the woods, and you know, like act like we were living in the woods and whatever. It probably goes back to that. That's probably why we all love this like dystopian apocalypse kind of. It reminds us of when we were kids building forts in the woods, or you know, with sheets and stuff in the living room. Do you remember that back in the day? I used to love that. I can remember one time making a fort. I can't remember where I made it. I can see it kind of in my head. Maybe it was in my bedroom, but it was extensive, and it was like, had rooms. It was made with like sheets, you know, but I had like, this was the kitchen and this was that. I remember I slept in there for like I must have been really young. My mom let me. She was like, I think it was during the summer or something, and I just like slept in there for like 4 or 5 days and whatever. Had a bedroom in there with all my stuffed animals, had a kitchen where I had some pots and pans, but I didn't really cook or anything, you know. But anyway, that's probably what we love about, because that's what I love. Actually, I was thinking also about years ago. So the year before a true crime book club was a true crime book club, it was actually Peter's book club. And I just read like a bunch of like cult fiction books that had like a big following to them. And books that like, we read My Sweet Audrina by V.C. Andrews that year. We were going to read Valley of the Dolls, but we didn't read that. I've actually never read that book. I bought it and I have it and I've never read it. Helter Skelter, I think we were going to read that. So in that April, when it came out, it came out like the month before, was when we read I'll Be Gone in the Dark, One Woman's Obsessive Search for the Golden State Killer by Michelle McNamara. I know people love when I say the whole title, and I love to say the whole title. But it had come out like in March, and so we read it in April. And we read a lot of books that year were really good. We read David Sedaris' Christmas book. We read Joan Didion. Oh, no, we were going to read Joan Didion. That was going to be the next book that next year, the Year of Magical Thinking. This guy's running in the rain. See, this is who I need to be right here, okay? Instead of talking about, well, maybe if the rain slows down and the rain's just getting harder and he's literally running in the rain with a jacket on and some sweatpants. So if he can do it, I can do it. So I'm going to walk tonight in the rain. I'll probably come back and be like, oh my God, I loved walking in the rain. The thing is, like, in Miami, when we were dancing in the rain, it was warm. Like, it's cold outside, so it's cold. And I don't want to get sick, you know what I mean? So I just have to, like, you know, put a coat on and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, so the way that it all happened with the True Crime Book Club is Mel reached out to me at one point. It was so funny because it was like last month or the month before. I had found like the original messages she sent me. I went back and I was like, do you want to know exactly how long we've been friends? And so we were laughing because I like read it. It was so funny because she was like, we were like trying to coordinate times to talk on the phone. So she was like, I'll do all the back end stuff. Because originally we started it like on Goodreads, and then that was when we decided to start the Facebook group. And I remember she and I just started talking all the time about true crime. We loved true crime, just the two of us. So when we would talk on the phone, we always talked about true crime stuff. And but we were reading all this other stuff. She was reading the books too, you know. And that was how the book club started. I don't even think we did live streams that first year. Maybe we did. I don't remember. To be honest with you, I don't even remember. And so anyway, we got to like November, and she was helping me a lot. And she was like, I'll do everything on the back end. You don't have to do anything. I'll do it all on the back end. And that's how we became friends. And then we'd start talking all the time. Became like dear. I mean, she's one of my best friends today, you know? And so I love Mel so much. And she reminds me of like if Mel and I had been friends in high school. Like we would have been friends in high school. Oh, there he is running back the other way. Must have gotten a little too wet for him. But like if Mel and I knew each other, well, she's Alex's age. So she and Alex are exactly the same age. But if she and I were like in high school together, we would have been friends. We're very similar, like with our attitudes towards the world and stuff like that. I love Mel so much. And so we were talking, and I said something about like, should we do a theme for the next year? I think is what we were trying to come up with books for like January, February, March. This was like in November. And I said, should we do a theme? We must have been doing live streams by that point. So anyway, I said, should we do theme? And she said, like, what do you want to do? Do you want to do like a year of like, I think she threw it out and was like, do you want to do like a year of true crime? Because everybody really loved, everybody in the group loved that book, I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And I was like, yeah, but not everybody loves to read true crime. And she was like, well, we love to read true crime. And I was like, well, that's true. Because we threw out like, should we do like a year of classics? Should we do like a year of Southern literature? Should we do a year of like top, like #1 best-selling books? Like we were coming up with all different kinds of themes. And so she was like, I was throwing out all these different themes. And she was like, well, what about a year of true crime? Because everybody loved when we did I'll Be Gone in the Dark. And I was like, well, we could do that. I was like, but not everybody loves true crime. And she's like, but I'll never forget this conversation. She's like, you love true crime. I love true crime. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, so fuck it, let's do true crime. Let's just turn it into and I was like, okay, well, we could turn it into a true crime book club. And she's like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it. And I was like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. And so we did. And I was like, okay, well, this is part of the reason why I started Peter's book club too, because I was like, well, I know that there's people that don't like true crime. Because I got a lot of those comments when I started it, that people were like, well, I started the original book club. Mel and I started a true crime book club together. And so when we started it, I got a lot of those comments. People were like, I love you. I want to read the books with you, but I'm not into true crime. And I totally get that. I totally understand that, right? And so then we started doing the true crime stuff. And then the way we pick the books is usually like, I'll call her or text her and I'll be like, we need to come up with the books. I usually like to do it by announce it by the 15th in a video, 15th or the 20th. So people can get it from the library, they can order it, they can get it online and things like that, right? And so, and actually we just decided that the next live stream is Sunday the 28th of April is the next live stream. And then it'll be consistent after that because we've taken a break for a while. Mel was moving and things like that. So I haven't announced that yet. I'll announce that probably the beginning of next week. when I announce the books for May, because we haven't come up with a book for May yet. So this will be the weekend, and I'll call Mel and I'll be like, hey, we need to come up with a book. And she'll be like, okay. And then she'll send me like 2 or 3 books that she finds, and I'll send her like 2 or 3 books, and then we'll narrow it down to like 2 books, and then we'll decide. And deciding factors for Peter are always how long are the books, because Mel likes to read books that are on Audible 18 to 20 hours. I'm like, girl, no, man. So like for last month, the camera stopped right as I was getting into this. Like last month, she gave me 2 books. I gave her 2 books. And the 2 books that I gave her, she was like, I have no interest in reading those at all. You know, and being that we're going to be the ones that are going to definitely be reading the books, we have to be interested in them, you know? And so she sent me 2 books, and I looked at them, and, well, I had recommended a book to her by Greg Olson, who writes a lot of true crime. We've read one of his books before, and the group loved it, and we loved it too. I mean, we loved the book, but it was a horrible story. It was so sad. It's called like Tell No One, or If I Told You, or Don't Tell Anyone, or something like that. I remember that book vividly to this day. Not the title, but I remember the story. It was about this woman that was like torturing these kids and stuff, and they lived in this house in the middle of nowhere, and she killed her best friend. It was horrible. So anyway, so we really like him as an author, and so I had sent her a recommendation of one, and she's like, I have no interest in that whatsoever. Well, she had sent me one of his too, and that was how we came up with the book that we're reading for this month, which is called, I think it's called All American Black Widow, or something like that, about a woman that's been married several times, which I actually loved the movie Black Widow when I was growing up with Deborah Winger, and Teresa, what was her name? I can't remember her name. I love her so much. But anyway, I love her so much I can't remember her name. But anyway, and that's usually how we come up with a book. Or like one month, like somebody will just throw something and they'll be like, I really want to read this. And I'll be like, yeah, just pick, I don't care. Or she'll say the same thing to me, whatever, right? And that's how we usually pick a book. And then of course we always give each other a really hard time. Like if one of us picks a book and it just turns like be horrible. Like I usually am that person. I'm usually the one that picks the horrible book. Like we read the book about the Delphi murders, and I wish we had waited because one just came out called Down the Hill, and I think it's by the people that did the podcast and then did the documentary. I wish we had waited because, I mean, there's not new information out since the last book that we read. But the book that we read was so bad. I don't even remember what it was called. It was so bad, but it was like literally the only one out. And it was the newest one published. So it was supposed to be it said it in the thing, like up-to-date information. Well, what it was this guy telling a story about how he built his podcast was like 3/4 of it, which Mel would call me and be like, are you reading this? I'm like, yeah. And she's like, it's all about his podcast. I'm like, I know, girl, we picked a bad book. She'd be like, you picked a bad book. I'm like, oh, it's windy. It's coming all over. This is how we tease each other, right? So anyway, so usually when Mel picks a book, it's really pretty good. So I should probably just let her pick the books. So like she picked the Mandy Matney book. I loved that book. I have to be honest with you. I was so cashed out on the Murdaugh murders. She's so like, Mel will read anything about the Murdaugh murders. She's like obsessed with that case. I am kind of like so burnt out on it. I feel like I've seen enough. And I didn't watch, like she watches all of Emily Baker's like live streams. Emily was actually just texting me. I don't watch all of like the live streams in the court. Like Mel, like she watches all of that. She watches all the court things, all that kind of stuff. She loves Emily Baker. And so I don't keep up with that much. And I can remember like just recently they were going to re-indict him or something. And Emily actually posted something about what had happened. And it had been like 6 hours or something. And I texted Mel and I said, oh, did you see that what's his name? Robert Murdoch, is that his name? Is going, no, Alex Murdoch. Alex Murdoch is being she's like, shh, texting me back. Nikki did the same. Nikki texted her too. And she was like, shh, I haven't got to watch Emily's live stream. So she's obsessed with the Murdaugh murders. Well, I was like, I do not want to read anything about the Murdaugh murders, okay? But I was like, Mel has followed Mandy Matney for a long time. Mandy Matney covered the Murdaugh murders and stuff. So I was like, okay, we'll do this book, because there's nothing really, you would think there was like, I'll Be Gone in the Dark books that put out like all the time. There really isn't. There really aren't that many fantastic true crime books out there that are put out regularly. There just really aren't. Documentaries, yes, but books, no. So I was kind of like, I'm just really not in the mood to read this Mandy Matney book about the Murdaugh. I loved that book. I reached out to Mandy Matney and sent her a message. I was like, oh my God, like the book was so much more than just about the murders, but it was so much about, it was like in real time living it. It reminded me a lot of I'll Be Gone in the Dark. So of course then I had to go, you know, to Mel and tell her she picked a fantastic book. Because she always does. Mel always picks fantastic books. I always pick shit. Which is why, to this day, this Richard Lehman book that I read years ago, 25 years ago, I was terrified by, called Endless Night. We read it that first year, that it wasn't true crime, and it was so, everybody thought it was so bad. It's about these cannibals that are, like, hunting down these people. I thought it was terrifying the first time I read it. Well, the second time I read it, it was bad. It just was really bad. So to this day, like, if I'm ever teasing Mel, she literally just texts me, Endless Night. Like, if I ever do a Q&A on Instagram and I say, like, you know, like, ask me questions for this, whatever, Mel just puts, she always, whenever I do a Q&A, her question is always Endless Night. She always is trying to get in with the Endless Night. I'm like, girl, okay? Like, and you would think, it's like the joke that, you know, when people are like, you like tell a joke over and over and over again to the point it's not funny. It's like, I don't know how. I mean, it's been like, what, 5 years now the book club's been going on. I don't know how, but literally, like, right now, if I was sitting here and I got a text from Mel that said Endless Night, I would just like start, like, I would like lose it. Like, it's still to this day is so funny to me. I don't know why. It's just the implications of it. And it's not that Mel says anything like, you pick a shitty book like Endless Night. She just says Endless Night. It's so, I don't know why it's so funny to me. It's like an inside joke, you know? But anyway, it just cracks me up so much. So that's, I don't know why I went into that whole explanation of how, like, the True Crime Book Club got originated and stuff like that. But I'm so grateful for it. I've met so many people, and you know, Nikki and I become such good friends, and Mel and I become such good friends. So it's so funny because we weren't going to go to Arizona this year because we wanted to go to BravoCon. Nikki and I really wanted to go to BravoCon. Mel wasn't sure if she was going to or not. And so I was like, well, I can't do all these different trips, right? And so, and Nikki was like, well, I got to save some money if I'm going to go to BravoCon, blah, blah, blah. If we're going to go to Arizona, we got to figure out what we're going to do, because we went to Arizona last year. We weren't sure if we were going to go this year. So BravoCon came out and said they're not doing BravoCon this year. They're coming back in 2025. Well, they didn't come out and say there's no BravoCon this year. They just said they're coming back in 2025, which basically is saying they're not doing it this year. Probably because of the Andy Cohen allegations and Ramona Singer saying racist things. It's like all these things have happened that they could probably just think it'd be better if we just didn't do BravoCon this year. So they're not doing BravoCon this year. Well, as soon as the announcement came out, Mel texted me and she goes, guess you guys are coming to Arizona. So I texted Nikki and I was like, well, since there's no BravoCon, Mel texted me and said maybe we'd come to Arizona. And she goes, I mean, I wouldn't turn down a few days sitting by the pool. We had such a fun time last year. It was such a fun trip. So I don't know. I haven't even, to be honest with you, I thought we were going to go to BravoCon, which would be like in October or November. I had already told Mel, I said we probably won't be coming out there because Nikki can only take one trip. So if we're because we're so into the Bravo shows. And so she was like, oh no, I totally understand. She's like, we can do, you know, Arizona next year or whatever. And so, but now that we're not going to go to BravoCon this year, we might go to Arizona for a couple days. Nikki and I just texted about it last night, and I haven't really had any, I mean, Mel kind of said it to me jokingly, but I haven't talked to Mel about it. But when I texted Nikki seemed like in it. So, I don't know, we might have to, like, you know, do another 3 days in Arizona. We might even, like, I don't know, rent the same house or something. That would be kind of fun. So, that was a nice house that we had last year. We'll see. I have no idea yet. I mean, it's not a long trip. It's just like 2 or 3 days. The birds are chirping out today. It's still pouring down rain. It's raining harder now than it was when I was starting. So yeah, but that was a really fun trip. So we might do that. We'll see. I need to catch up with Mel this weekend anyway, so maybe I'll talk to her about that. Because that has a lot to do with her work schedule too. So I have to see like what date she could. Did we do that in August? Yeah, I feel like we did that like, I feel like it was like August 12th or something. I have to talk to her and see like what her dates are. It's usually around like July to September that she can get some time off from work, and then we can like go out there, and I'll talk to Nikki about it and see if she wants to do it. We'll figure it out. And then I'll talk to Alex, because we haven't gone to Vegas for our anniversary for the last couple of years. Last year it was so expensive when I looked to go to Vegas. I was like, this is ridiculous. We're not going to do this. But we're doing like a joint birthday trip this year for his 40th birthday. Well, kind of. I mean, it's really for his birthday, but I mean, our birthdays are 7 days apart, so, but, so I don't think we'll go anywhere unless we go for our anniversary. We haven't really talked about a lot of trips this year yet. At all. His birthday trip's really the only thing we've really talked about. We're kind of trying to like save some money too, because like I'm getting the basement done, so we really want to like start, you know, at some point. I'm not gonna say when, because if I say when, people will be like, well, you said. I don't know when, but we at some point want to start getting the house, you know, start working on the house, at least one room at a time, slowly, you know, and get the house done the way that we want it to. Our goal last fall, I think it was last fall that we said 5 years. Was it last fall that we talked about it? Last summer? That we said 5 years from, I don't remember how we said it, but we talked about it since. And we said 5 years starting in January was when we wanted to have a condo exactly how we wanted it to be. And we wanted to have like a down payment on a place. But now we're not really sure. Like people are always like, are you still thinking about Florida? We are still thinking about Florida. We love the Miami area. We were actually talking to our friend, we were down there, and she's like, rates have really gone up a lot in Miami. So, I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of different areas that we could look at in Miami. I still really like Midtown. We're not at a position yet to get a place in Miami, so that's not happening anytime soon. But then also, it has a lot to do with where, like, if Jesse and Fufu end up staying in San Diego, we might want to get a place in San Diego, which is extremely expensive. But then Alex's mom could stay there. We could go out there and travel and stay there. The only thing is like, from here to Miami is like 2 hour flight. It says two and a half, but it's really like 2 hours. So, I mean, we can leave here, we can leave our house at like 4 in the morning, and we can be at our place and on the beach by noon. San Diego is a whole day. I mean, that's like 5 hour flight. You have to change planes. It's like, it's an ordeal. So for me to have a second place, I don't know that I wouldn't just rather go to San Diego and get like an Airbnb for a week and visit them instead of having like 2 places. So, but we're going to talk about that. There's really, other than Florida and like San Diego, Alex, wherever we get a place, it's going to be a place that Alex, there's people there that we know. So we have a lot of people in Miami that we know. We have a lot of friends in the Miami area. We also have a lot of friends in Las Vegas, and Alex's cousin is Las Vegas, a couple of our really close friends, but we've really never talked about getting a place in Las Vegas. I love staying in hotels in Las Vegas. I just can't imagine getting like a condo in Las Vegas. I know that like property is very valuable in Las Vegas, and that people are buying like, you know, land up there and houses and stuff like that. It's just never been a place that I would want to like have a place to go to all the time. I'd rather stay in a hotel, in all honesty, in Las Vegas. I can't really think of anywhere else where we would, you know, I think if our life were different and Alex was close to retirement and we had kids and things like that, we might look at like, you know, like North Carolina, South Carolina, like on the beach, Georgia, things like that. I have friends of mine that moved there, like get houses, like, you know, in like little coastal towns and whatever. But that's just not who we are. That's not our life, you know? And so it's gonna, you know, the other thing about Miami is that Miami is really easy to fly out of internationally. Well, Charlotte is too, but like I don't want to be in Charlotte. Miami is really easy to fly out of internationally. So if we're in Miami and then we want to go to Mexico for a while, we can do that. Or, I mean, we love Mexico. I'm not going to buy a place in Mexico. I wouldn't do that. We actually talked to somebody, I think it was 2 times ago when we were there, about, because a lot of people are buying places in Mexico, but you actually, the way you do it, somebody that's watching this video probably knows. So I don't want to get into it because I don't understand it. I'm not an expert on it at all. But the way that it was told to me was that you don't actually, like, you don't buy the house or the land in Mexico. Like, you go to a bank and the bank buys it for you. So the bank actually owns the house. You don't own it. I don't really know how it works. I'm very confused by it. So you don't really ever, like, you own the property, the deed, but the bank is the one, because, like, you can't as an American citizen buy property there or something. I don't know how it works, but it's very cheap to buy stuff there. But again, like, I like staying in resorts, I like staying in hotels. As far as having like a place where I would like to be, like, that I could go to. I could see us being in San Diego and doing that. I could see us being in Miami and doing that, because Fufu and Jesse are in San Diego. We have friends in Miami. I don't know that there's really anywhere else that I would want. I mean, somewhere warm, definitely, you know. When we were in Miami, Alex was like, if you lived down here and stayed down here extensively for a couple months in a row, what would you do? I said, I would film videos and go to the beach every single day. Every single day I would go to the beach and just read on the beach, or, you know, and whatever. He was like, you really would? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. You know, Alex at some point too would love to just like completely work remotely, like a lot of people are, you know, and now, and if he could ever do that, then we could travel, live wherever, you know. We could go somewhere. We just keep this as a home base, and we wouldn't have, we have talked about this, not buying a place, but maybe like getting an Airbnb, you know, outside of Fort Lauderdale, like in Hollywood or Aventura or something, for like 3 or 4 months and staying there, and then, you know, or getting an Airbnb like in San Diego for a month and going out there. If Alex could work remotely, you know, 5-6 years down the road, then that could be something too. So we just keep this as a home base and be the condo of our dreams. We'd never get rid of it. We're never planning on selling this, so we wouldn't get rid of it and then just travel, you know. I mean, I can film videos from anywhere, so it doesn't matter if I'm in a hotel room in Chicago or Airbnb in San Diego or Mexico or wherever. I mean, it doesn't have to just be on this front porch, you know. So there's a lot of things we have to decide. Plus, Alex is just turning 40, you know, so he doesn't really know what he wants to do or where he wants to be. One of the things that we've really figured out is, like, when we first started talking about, like, let's get a place, you know, like in Miami, like, it sounded fun and exciting, but there's so much that goes along with it. It's very expensive. I don't know, like, the whole idea of, like, getting a different Airbnb every year and going someplace for 3 to 6 months, like, that sounds desirable to me. We have friends of ours that will, like, get an Airbnb in like Hollywood, I'm just using this as an example, Hollywood, Florida, and then getting another Airbnb like in Fort Lauderdale for a month, and then getting a place in Miami for 3 weeks, and then going to Tampa for a month, and then Destin for a month, and they're gone for 6 months. Oh my gosh. You guys, this is such a mess. Oh, well, there went my afternoon. But, don't cry over spilt milk. Look at that. It's all over my candles and everything. Well, my new tables are in the garage. So anyway, and that also, like, you're not putting your money into anything, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. Just for me, like, it's so expensive to buy another place. So we'll see. All right, you guys, look. I have to. Is this table thing? Oh yes, it comes. See. This comes off, so I can just, like, this is so me. I'm the person that, like, okay, so we have this water jug. Alex has a tank. I have a jug in the refrigerator, and I'll put, like, a fountain Coke in front of the jug, and then I'll forget that the fountain pop is in, like, not a fountain like a can, but, like, fountain pop. I'll put, like, ice in a cup with a Coke, and then I'll, like, want a glass of water, so I'll put that in the refrigerator in front of the water, and then I'll pull the water thing out, and the cup will spill all over the floor. And then I've, like, 20 minutes of mopping up the floor in the kitchen and cleaning the floor. This is totally my life. So anyway, I got over the walls and everything. All right, well, I'm going to get off here and clean this up. What a mess. What a mess. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I know some of you out there are laughing, but this is just really, to be honest with you, the story of my life. And, hope that you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday, and you're warmer and drier than I am. And if nobody else has told you this today, I love you. And I'm going to get off here, clean this mess up, and get back to being the mess that I regularly am. Anyway, I love you guys so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Love you.